let's shift our attention now. A Bangladeshi version of the meeting between Prime Minister Modi and Bangladesh's chief advisor Muhammad Yunus on aspects related to attacks on minorities and Dhaka's request to extradite ousted Premier Sheikh Hasina was mischievous and politically motivated. This is how sources in the MEA are countering the narrative that is being peddled by the press secretary of Muhammad Yunus. The press secretary, Shafiqul Alam, in fact, wrote a Facebook post and said that the 84-year-old Nobel Laureate raised the request for Hasina's extradition to Bangladesh with Prime Minister Modi during the meeting and added that the response was not negative. New Delhi has so far not responded to the request that has been made by Bangladesh's interim government. This is the claim that was made by the advisor. My colleague Rishabh continues to stay live with us. Rishabh, it was a meeting that had been requested by Bangladesh. Prime Minister Modi had also met Muhammad Yunus, where several issues were spoken, including the treatment of minorities in Bangladesh as well. But it looks like Bangladesh had a completely different version of it. And the sources from the government now saying that this is completely mischievous and politically motivated. Take us through the details of that statement.
Well, what we're given to understand that once the meeting took place between Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Chief Advisor of Bangladesh, Muhammad Yunus, there were versions of the meeting coming out. One coming in from Shafiqul Alam, who is the press secretary of Muhammad Yunus, where he talks a lot about the meeting. He says that how Prime Minister Narendra Modi was in all praise for Muhammad Yunus and his work. He goes on to say that Prime Minister even said that he knows that how Sheikh Hasina's regime has been unfair with Muhammad Yunus, and he also goes on to say that Sheikh Hasina's extradition, when it was raked up by Bangladesh, the reaction was not negative. Now sources within the establishment in Bangladesh has countered this whole claim by the press secretary of Bangladesh chief advisor that nothing of this sort has happened. India is very clear that the elections need to take place in Bangladesh, and that's what we heard from the foreign secretary as well. In the meeting, while the two leaders were discussing, yes, Sheikh Hasina was raked up, to which the Indian response was very clear that let the foreign ministers decide on such issues, not us. A. B. Where, when Shafiqul Alam says that, Prime Minister was talking about the relationship between Sheikh Hasina and Muhammad Yunus and said that he wasn't treated well. Nothing of that sort happened either. The sources clearly states that this whole thing is constructed, and nothing of this sort happened within the meeting. India was very clear. Elections need to happen. Minority rights need to be protected. Minority security is responsibility of the government. And see, when it comes to Sheikh Hasina, nothing has been decided yet. It is in a cold storage, is what we are given to understand, and it has been conveyed to Bangladesh as well. But Sheikh Hasina will return to Bangladesh at her own will, is what the message has been shared between the officials in India and Bangladesh. So many things that have been said by the press secretary of chief advisor of Bangladesh. Things are not as he has mentioned. Even after the meeting got over, he spoke about how Tista water was discussed and everything. There was no mention back then of Sheikh Hasina or any such pressing issues. But after a very thoughtful, social media message, a version was created to satisfy the domestic audience in Bangladesh, yes. And it's all over Bangladeshi media. But sources within the establishment in Yunus government has categorically said that whatever has been said in that Facebook post is far from reality.
The two leaders had met on the sidelines of the BIMSTEC summit, and unfortunately Bangladesh making these statements about India, with India now dismissing it as malicious. Rishabh, thank you for joining us with those details.